G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Draw with Jazza. I'm Jazza, and in this video tutorial we're going to be talking about animation smears. What is an animation smear? An animation smear is a frame in an animation between two keyframes which holds a warped sort of shape that kind of conveys the motion between those frames. And it's a really useful tool to both cut and save time and energy on doing those in-betweens for the motion, and also a way of exaggerating motion without having to, do that. So it's both a shortcut and it's a really useful tool to make something look better than it would otherwise. So this is a really simple example that I've created to show how an animation smear might be done. And you can see that the second image in the middle of these three is not really a face, but it's quite clear to see that it is between these two motions, that there is a face on the left looking down with that expression and a face on the right looking up in that expression. And so this middle one is an animation smear between these two frames to show an exaggerated motion and warp the perspective of the image. Now, there are lots of different kinds of animation smears, and I recommend highly that you go to this website, animationsmears.tumblr.com. They have thousands and thousands of these things. You can just go through page after page and see so many different examples of animation smears. And there are lots of different kinds of ones. There are lots of stretchy ones, for example, like this dog here or Bugs Bunny, where there's that, it expands and stretches the shape of the object or person, like the Superman here. And then there's also duplicate ones, like here on the right with Wile E. Coyote, or this My Little Pony, or this dude up here in the corner, where there are duplicates of the face or whatever it is being smeared throughout on that frame to show the motion from one place to another. So on the right are some examples of that, and on the left are some more of the smeary ones, the stretchy ones. So I tend to be personally a bit of a fan of the stretchy ones, and I'm going to show you a short example today as to how I might go through and create one. So I've got just a simple sketch here of a boxer guy on one frame reaching back, getting ready to punch, and on the next frame having punched. So I'm going to create the frame in between these two and turn it into an animation smear. So the first thing that I do is in Adobe Flash, set up the onion skin tool, which is this button here. So when I click that, I can drag it out to show the frame before and the frame after the frame I am currently on. And so I then select my construction line color, whatever that might be. Usually I go with a light gray, but in this case I'll go with a blue to differentiate it. And you can see that I've got the hand starting back here and ending up over here. So to create then the animation smear, I'm going to really blur that across. Now, in this example, the glove would be a bright red and would be one of the features of this smear. So I'm going to have that. Oops. In fact, I'm going to draw this in red for now so you can see it quite clearly. I'm going to draw the glove be really stretched, that highlight be really stretched, and then I'll have the arm too be stretched. Now, you want to kind of retain the shape of both where it begins and where it ends up, kind of halfway between them. So I've got the arm here, and I'm kind of fake drawing. If I hide the onion skin, you can see I'm sort of drawing an anatomy, or a resemblance of anatomy or muscles, but also keeping it really kind of hard to discern what it is, so that you can see that it's like this warp shape between them. So I'll show my onion skin again, and this is the main feature of the smear, this arm here. So the rest of the body can just be a normal in-between frame. So I'll draw the belly as he turns around, and the shoulder and back, and then the head. So I draw the eyes, and as with any in-betweens, you're simply drawing the lines and shapes halfway between where they begin and where they end up. So the mouth, everything halfway. And to test it, we can kind of alternate between them, and that is a pretty simple setup of what I'm going for, and I think it works pretty well. I think I'll draw the glove back here. Okay, and now I'm ready to do the line work. So I'm going to turn this red into my construction line color, this blue, and I'm going to draw my animation smear. So I'll select the brush that I want to use, and focusing on the smear itself, because this is the highlight of the image, of course, this glove. I'll add the thumb underneath there. So it's all been really warped. As you can see, they're really warped, including this highlight. So you want to retain the features of the image in this before frame and in this after frame. And the things that are featured in both are the thumb, the bulk of the glove, and this little highlight area. So I've included all of them there. Then we have the elastic that wraps around the wrist, and then we have the warped anatomy that doesn't necessarily need to look too particularly anatomically correct, but it needs to resemble the anatomy that we've got going on between these frames. So then I'd simply draw the line work over the construction lines I've drawn. And fill it all in. Oops. Okay, so it's come along. It's a pretty simple example, nothing too crazy, but you can see how very quickly I've already demonstrated the motion between these frames, and that we start off here, and in this oops, I use faces a bit misshapen, doesn't really matter, that's not the focus of the image, but as you can see, this smear, this animation smear, shows a clear motion between these two frames, and it's almost like it's animated just flicking through these three frames themselves. So often you can divide the frame up and do maybe two frames of the smear to kind of really show the fluidity of that motion. But that aside, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's a really quick example of what an animation smear is, and the fact is, at the end of the day, that they're really useful. So if you're doing frame-by-frame animation and doing some action sequences or some really exaggerated movement, animation smears are a really simple and effective way of conveying motion without necessarily putting in every single frame and keeping things detailed. It's often easier and way more effective than that. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you later.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy my videos. You can download the reference files from this tutorial by clicking the link in the description. And remember to share any art, animation or game you make on Newgrounds.com. Until next time, see you later.